All right, what's going on, good people around across the world from London to the Bay? The Matt and Todd Show 194. We are live. We are in the house. We got plenty to talk about today. Glad everybody could stop by and hang out with us. I am going to be talking a little bit about some Ja Morant news. We're going to talk about that a little bit. USFL play. We got some stuff on that, and I'm going to break down Texas A&M. Dean, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to break down the Kentucky Wildcats, and I'm going to talk to y'all about Julian Sain, who is committed to Alabama. He's got one more year of high school, but pretty good prospect.
Yep.
And you'll hear why.
Y'all come back and hang out with us, and special guest Hayden Coker is going to be live right here on the scene with us. Y'all come back and hang out, okay? All right, here we are. We are live in the house. Show number 194. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I know I am. We've had a good day here. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there in the world, especially ones doing double duty, being mom and dad.
Yeah, a lot of them.
There's a lot of that going on. Had a little rain over here this way. Today, did y'all have any rain over the bluff?
None.
Zero?
None.
It rained a little bit this morning.
It's gotten so bad that people are just like, when it calls for it, they just don't even.
They don't even carry an umbrella with them.
Nah, it ain't gonna rain. But now it has rained in a lot of places.
Yeah, we had a little here this morning.
Hayden, y'all been getting rain?
Yeah, what's going on? Let's bring in Hayden Coker. Tell everybody who you are and where you're from and what's got going on with you.
Hey, everybody. My name's Hayden Coker. I'm from Asheville, Alabama. Matt and Todd asked me to come on today. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me on. But yeah, it's been raining a little bit. We was at work a few days ago, and the power went out there. So, and it was hailing a little bit. It's been raining. We got a good bit over the past few days. So, but I think it's going to calm down a little bit. I hope so, anyways.
They said there may be some storms rolling in here later this evening.
No, I heard that late.
Yeah,
like after midnight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, probably late. I got to run to make to Conyers, Georgia tomorrow in the morning early. So I'm going to try to do my run and get back
before. Well, now I think it's supposed to be pretty gone.
Yeah,
pretty much gone by in the morning.
I hope so.
What time you got to get up?
4:30.
It's early. That's here in a minute. All
right, so we got so much to talk about. I know it's off season, but we still like to carry news and talk about what's going on. Show number 194. The Lord's blessed us to be able to do that, and we're very appreciative of all our sponsors. People that always kicks in on us and helps us help things out here around the area. Cherokee Eye Clinic, Scott Lloyd's Legal Service, and Jerry Mobley Concrete Construction. All those guys have pitched in and helped a lot. And also, Farmers Merchants Bank up here in town is going to help with the Media Day stuff. And also, Harold Day's Sporting Goods, your local sporting goods store right here in Center. It's just been here forever. You go there and see Harold. You need cleats, jerseys, Cedar Bluff, Center Apparel, Gills, Spring Garden. You go by there and get your stuff.
If you need anything and can't find it, that's probably the place to go.
Or if you need a pocket knife or a pistol, go see Heavy Duty.
No.
Right out of the gate, I'm just going to say this, and we'll get to this. Is some roundtable talk. We get conversation going. Jeff, what's up? Good to see you on here. He's our number one fan. He's on every week religiously. Ja Morant suspended 25 games. Surprised?
Well, I'd heard that it would be probably 1/3 of the year, and that would be they play 82 games, so that would nearly be 1/3. So that was the early chirpings. 20, 25, 27, maybe 1/3.
Do you know anything about this situation, Hayden, about Ja Morant and the guns and all that stuff? I'm sure you see it on ESPN.
Yes, sir. I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't really kept up with the whole thing too much. I'm not the biggest NBA fan in the world, but
no, we're not either.
What's that?
We're not either. We covered a little bit. We'll give scores. During the finals, we'll talk a little bit about it, but our audience is really not.
You'll probably lose close to $5 or $6 million, I would think.
Yeah, what would you say? I'm sorry.
Water though. I mean that's rough. I saw where he blamed the first one on alcohol, but he didn't really blame it. I mean he took responsibility, but it just kind of sucks for him because I say sucks for him, but it sucks because he's a good talent and he's got a bright future. He just got to stay out of trouble.
Well, now, they got to go through the first 25 games without their star. I mean, they'll be lucky to go 10 and 15 in those 25.
Well, he brought this. He brought it on himself from what he did, and we talked about it on the first action. And he's just doing. And I'm not judging the boy. Trust me, I was a lot like him when I was a wild young man. And if I would have had $200 million, I probably would have been doing exactly what he's doing. I ain't judging him. I'm just going to say, because we know he's watching. John, chill out, bro.
Don't get mad. He's already texted.
We know you're only young once. But God's given you so much talent. You got to be able to see your blessings and find out who your real friends are. And if you're going to walk in the streets and play in the streets, then the streets can carry you out of this world. So stay away from that stuff, man.
But, I mean, you think about that. Nobody thinks it's a big deal, just 25 games. But, I mean, he's probably literally losing $6 or $7 million.
It is. It's,
is it not paid?
No.
Plus endorsements. Now, you may lose. Nike's already pulled his shoe off the main page of their website.
I mean, imagine what he could have done with that $6 million. Just helping people wise. And I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah.
He may. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just money. For lack of a better word, just thrown away.
Thrown away just being young and silly. Deion Sanders may lose a foot. I keep up with him, Coach Sanders and Well Off Media. Go find them on YouTube. His oldest son there, Bucky, there's their media. Have you seen any of their stuff, Mr. Coker?
Yes, sir. Wait, who's that? The
Well Off Media. It's Bucky. It's Deion's son. He does all their videos there for the college and their practice and stuff.
Yeah.
He covers them very deeply, and well, we know Deion had a trouble with his foot, his leg. He's got bad veins or something in his leg.
Toe. He's already had toes amputated.
So he may be losing his foot. So, just
let me ask y'all something, and y'all can disagree, but being a first-year coach at a D1 school, that will affect him pretty big, wouldn't it? I would think, losing a foot.
If that winds up happening at the time when it could happen, guys, is he going to be able to make that trip to
that's big
TCU?
I don't know.
It's kind of tragic. It is. It
really is.
He coaches with so much enthusiasm. So I'm hoping that he can get better and push past this. But I don't know.
Bad timing. I mean, gosh.
It is bad timing. I feel for him. Hey, we're praying for Coach Sanders. We hope Lord to bless him, and he is a repentant heart and he's a Christian. So God will take care of Coach Prime. I promise you that. Here's a story. I want to share this with y'all. It's about a kid, young man. Well, he's still a kid. He's not even a young man.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Austin Simmons. He is from Moorhaven, Florida. He is barely 16. I don't think he's 17 yet. He's finishing high school now already. He's going to graduate, finish school. He's got a 5.34 GPA. Hayden, you're a lot smarter than us.
That's like 120 on tests, isn't it?
How do you get a 5.34 GPA?
I don't know how that's possible. I know that mine was about 2.0 GPA. So if you subtract 2.0, you can get it around there.
Hey, this guy can look at the 4.0s and go, "You chumps, get out of my face."
Well, you know you can take AP classes, and if you ace AP classes, you can have like a 4.4 or 4.5.
How do you get a 5.4?
He's class of 2023 now. He's supposed to graduate in 25, and he was being recruited by Florida Gators. Now it comes in the news, Lane Kiffin is going to pick this guy up. He's going to graduate this year early as a 17-year-old kid and go play football at Ole Miss.
And be the smartest quarterback in the country.
Yeah. What about this? His name's Austin Simmons, Simmons. Plays there at Moorhaven High School.
Well, that's good talent in Florida, too. So.
Good God, man.
I mean, just the high school football, they say it is.
Oh, yes, and ridiculous, the talent they got.
Especially in South Florida. And I don't know about Northern Florida, but Southern Florida. Very much so.
Next on the list, Dean, U.S. Open, Fowler, Clark, Sheffield, McElroy. You've been watching any golf, Hayden?
I haven't been able to watch it, but I've been able to keep up with it. I know that Ricky Fowler was tied for first with Wyndham Clark.
Let me look at that. Let me look at that right now. I think they started, they're behind, obviously.
Rain.
And wasn't starting well because they're in California. They wasn't starting until 2:30. Pacific time, yes. And so, they didn't start till 4:30 or 5. Clark leads now. he's -11. That's Wyndham Clark, who I've never really heard of. McElroy's in second now at 10 under, and Fowler's third at 8 under. He's took +2 for the day, so he's had 2 bogeys. So now it looks like it's going to be between.
Go ahead,
and they've got 3 hours left. They've only played 5 holes.
Go ahead. What now?
Fowler, he said going in, because with it being the last last 18 holes they played today, I think somebody asked him if he failed, what would it be or something like that. He said that he wasn't afraid to fail. It'll be what it'll be. I mean, if you're in the PGA Tour and you place top 5, heck, you place top 10 or 20, you're doing just fine. But I know Ricky Fowler, he's hungry for a win because he hasn't had one in quite a minute. So
well, I know the knock on him. I don't want to call it a knock. Is that he's great. He's finished in a lot of top 10s in majors, but he's never won a major. Am I right? I don't think he's ever won a major, but one year he finished in the top 10 in all 4. But now McElroy has. I guess I'm hoping McElroy wins that. It looks like Fowler.
McElroy needs one more for a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Mickelson does too, right?
Yeah, I didn't even hear nothing about Mickelson.
He was like 2 under, and 2 under. He was ranked like dead last nearly.
Yeah.
I mean,
+4 +3 was the cut.
That's crazy.
That means if you go out there and shoot a 75, you're getting cut.
Hey, that's a lot better than I do. I shoot maybe 50.
Well, I mean, everybody I know shoots
holes.
Mostly in the 90s, some in the 80s, but now Clark's taking a 2-shot lead. So,
are they going to rename the PGA?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
I've not heard. I hope not.
I did hear that the course there at California, that a lot of the guys weren't happy with it. A guy that covers for 365 Sports, you can find them on YouTube. They're kind of a Baylor-based type deal. I watched them some. They have a reporter out there, and he said they were not happy. The greens and stuff, the course is so wide, they don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
The greens are long.
It's too. They said it was just too wide. They don't like it.
Right.
You get off the edge there, and it's like there's no. It could be narrow where you could have like a higher grass on the edge, but it's like wide, and then it's just if you get out, you're in the woods. I mean, it's in the in the rough.
Well, it looks like Clark may win that. I've never heard of Wyndham Clark much. Have you, Hayden?
I've heard more about him within the last 2 or 3 weeks than I ever have.
I didn't.
A lot of golf to be played, but if he could win this one, considering I've never heard of him, that'd be phenomenal for him either way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not taking nothing away from him because I hadn't heard of him. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing McElroy win one, or Fowler, or Clark. So I guess I'm pulling for all 3 of them.
What do you think about this merger with the LIV and the PGA?
I'm glad that they have gotten a sense of on the right track or merging minds, because I having PGA and LIV both in the same in different leagues, I didn't really like that because I was having to look up let's look up the LIV Tour, let's look up PGA Tour, see how both of them are doing, and plus I watched the LIV Tour, or I saw a few clips of it, or a few people play 9, or I just didn't like it. I didn't like how the camera was set up or anything like that. So I'm glad they've merged, but I just wish it wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah,
I don't really understand
money.
Well, I mean, yes, money.
That's what makes everything go around.
Well, I found out last week that the PGA. I told Matt on the show last week, if you go to a PGA tournament, you pay for everything.
Yeah, do you know about
that?
You
pay for your food, your hotel room, your plane,
That's
everything.
Crazy.
And then if you get cut, you don't make anything. The only way you make any money is if you make the cut. And I guess that runs some guys off. I don't know. They make pretty good though.
No, that makes some money. If they do,
John,
that makes some money.
Oh, the LIV made great money, but the PGA makes money. I mean, Rahm's made $12 million this year. He's probably kept half that. I mean, he probably don't. He don't keep all $12 million, but
yeah, well, you
he's got a caddy and taxes and agents, and But even if he's kept a third of it, what's that? $4 million.
Yeah, at least 7 or 8.
He'll never have to work again just because he's good at golf.
USFL, the Stallions. I watched them a little bit. We don't cover them very in depthly. And they played yesterday, and of course they beat Memphis 27-20. The playoffs will start the 27th, guys. If y'all are interested in USFL, championship will be July the 1st. In this game versus Memphis, Magoo went 22 for 33, threw for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. So that's kind of some UFL. Skip Holtz, of course, coaching the Stallions,
right.
And they're
coaching South Carolina.
Yeah, they're going to be in the playoffs. They won it last year, and it seems that they will be repeating this year as well.
I hope so.
Seems that they'll be repeating as well.
And I forgot to mention, I don't think we've been on since, but we predicted it. Denver Nuggets went on and won the NBA the next day after our show. Terrible game, wasn't it?
Did you watch the final game there?
I think I watched. No, I didn't watch the final game. I watched Game 5, I believe. But I didn't watch much. I'm not huge on the NBA, so I didn't get to watch much.
Well, congrats to them, their first championship. But it was not a great game. The other 4 were, but the last one was not.
They looked nervous.
Bad shooting.
Sloppy passing.
Oh, gosh.
Jokic was ready to go ride. Do what now?
The Heat were ahead, too, most of the game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they
were.
They give them a fight. The Nuggets definitely didn't win that easy, and hats off to Jimmy Butler for – basically nearly being the MVP of the losing. He played great. Now, Jokic, of course, he passed Kareem's records and Wilt Chamberlain's 30-20. How do you have 30 points and 20 rebounds?
20 rebounds. That's a lot of boards.
Yeah, that's insane. Hey, college baseball. I think TCU was ahead in the 9th inning just a while ago when I seen Game 2, the Gators stunned Virginia, beat them 6-5. World Series kicked Friday in Omaha, started off in 1950. This is the goal, said by one of the players, quoted on that. This is the goal. This is what you play as a kid from T-ball up. This is what you start out to do. There's 8 teams in a 4-team pool, play double elimination, and then the best of 3. Or this Oral Roberts team, man, they are.
No, they in it. I thought 16 teams went to the College World Series.
The fielding is great. They hit the ball pretty 1 through 6. 1 through 6 batting order hits the ball pretty darn well. Wake Forest and Stanford played yesterday, and I think LSU and Tennessee. I got to watch some of that one. They'll finish up Monday the 26th on ESPN. So if you like college baseball, I catch it some when I'm flipping through and there's nothing on. I'll stop and watch it. And watching LSU and Tennessee, that LSU pitcher.
LSU's had some good teams over the years.
He can throw it. And tell us the kid from down there from Westbrook that's at LSU.
Oh man, what's his last name? His
The
first
pitcher.
name is Sammy.
I know who you're talking about. He was out that year, and they still won it.
I watched him.
They were.
I watched him pitch up at Sandrock one night when they come up there, and I was up there covering the game. Wow.
Is he getting to play at LSU?
I don't know. So he got hurt, toward the end of his high school. So I don't know.
I don't know either, to be honest with you. But I know he did get a full ride there.
Talking about baseball, Hayden, this is a part of the show where we want you to take over, and we're going to listen to you talk some. Tell us about the darn Atlanta Braves. I know they're playing good, and they won big yesterday. Who'd they play? The Rockies.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they played the Rockies. The Mets are one of the worst teams in the league. You can tell us a little bit about that too. So what's up with the Braves? What they got going on?
Hey man, it sounds good. It's the Braves right now they're playing like one of the best teams in baseball. They have the second best record in the major leagues, right behind the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay's been playing phenomenal baseball this year. Thing with the Braves is they won today 14-6. I think they started out trailing the game 5-0. So Charlie Morton got lit up, but then the Braves bats just got hot. Michael Harris had a 5-for-5 game and was a triple shy of the cycle. He hit a home run. He was, I think, 3 weeks ago batting like 1.180, and then now he's got his batting average up to 249. in just from today. So Money Mike's playing really good. The Braves are on I think it's six game win streak, and then but they were on an 8-game win streak and then lost a game. Come back, you win 6 in a row. So you whoop up on the Rockies, and then now you got to go in and you got to play the next team that comes into town, and you go on the road. So the Braves have been playing some good baseball within their division. You had the Phillies. The Phillies have been playing not as bad as they were in the beginning of the year. They started out playing terrible and had one of the worst records in the league. But in second place, it is not the New York Mets. It is the Miami Marlins, and the Marlins are impressing, right? They're impressive right now. You have Luis Arias, who is currently on his way to batting 400 in a Major League Baseball season, and I don't even remember the last time that happened. Well,
I think it's been done once. Hayden.
What's that?
One other time.
I think it's been done once. I think Ted Williams did it, and that may be it.
He was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, he was okay.
I know it's been done one time, but I couldn't remember the name of who it
I
was.
think it was Williams or DiMaggio or one of them.
One of the greats.
That's all right.
Greats. And Arias is playing out of his mind. He'll be the number one second baseman in the All-Star game this year, and he's the number one second baseman in the game right now. And then I believe the number 2 second baseman in the NL NL East right now is Ozzie Albies, and possibly the number 2 second baseman in the NL period. So, you've got a bunch of great first or second basemen out there. Obviously, you have Andres Jimenez that plays for Cleveland. He's playing phenomenal. You've got a bunch of good guys that are out there. So, but when it comes down to the NL East, the Mets falling back to 4th place, and then you have the Nationals in 5th place. As a Braves fan, it would be wonderful to see the Mets in last place, but I don't think that's going to happen because the Nationals are just not good at all. But you've got a lot of good baseball action happening so far this year. The Milwaukee.
Let me ask you. Oh, sorry. So the Braves have won 14 of their last 15?
No, I think they won 8 and they dropped 2, and then now I think they're on a 6-game win streak.
So that's 14 out of 16. So that's 90% over the last month, right?
I could be completely wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that's right though. But if not, I'm a game or so off. But yeah,
I knew they've been doing well.
They've had a phenomenal season. It'd be nice if Matt Olson could hit above 230, but if not, that's fine too because they're still at what now 47 and 26, 46 and 26. So even without Matt Olson having a great bat right now, you can't deny that the Braves are one of the best teams in baseball. It top 3, if not top 2.
Well, this has been 3 straight years. What was you going to ask me?
Who's the big hitter for the Marlins that everybody's talking about?
Luis Arias.
Yeah, man. They got to play baseball. He's pretty good at it.
Is Judge doing good this year for the Yankees? How many home runs has he hit?
He last time I checked, he was at 20. I believe he's a few over that right now, maybe 21 or 22. I can get that real quick.
Now, he hit 62 last year, right?
Yes, sir. He hit a good amount last year, and that was just a great season overall for him. The Yankees this year are not all that at all. They got the absolute crap spanked out of them by the Red Sox the other day, 15-5. But then I think they came back and won one game of the doubleheader.
Well, let me ask you something, Aiden. Do you consider Aaron Judge to be the single-season leader, or do you consider Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, because there was so much controversy surrounding their record-breaking seasons, but there wasn't any around Judge's. So do you have a preference?
No. I'd say Barry Bonds still. But
okay.
And the thing about Barry Bonds is that, yes, he played on steroids, but even when he was off the steroids, he was still pretty dang good.
Yeah, he still probably would have been a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he had a great swing, fast hands. I got his rookie cards right here in my closet, and I kept up with him when he started out.
Pirates.
Yeah, he was a good player, and I think they felt like the younger guys were starting to take off a little bit, and him and McGuire and that type of group, and then Sosa came along. They felt like they needed to keep up, and Roger Clemens, they were taking growth hormone and stuff, and it's unfortunate that they get looked over.
Oh, they do.
Because, I mean, the Bash brothers, I remember McGuire and Canseco, at the A's back in the day. I got those cards too. And I hate that, that it kind of gets ruined that way. They're because, like, the younger people, Hayden's age, they didn't get to see them play, and it kind of tarnishes the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that for them.
And you have people that were cheating 5 years ago. You have people that were cheating 10 years ago. It's the only thing that's changed is they have actually enforced a rule, and some people have gotten caught, some people have not gotten caught. The thing with Fernando Tatis Jr. I think it was last year, he had used it, but he had claimed that he had used it to use the hormones or whatever, the PEDs, whatever it was, to heal faster from his injury. And I understand that, but at the same time, I think you have to respect the rules or respect the game enough to realize that you gotta have a little bit of humility to come back and do it on your own. And I don't know it, but with all the crap about Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame, it really kind of made me mad because we never really got to see him reach what he could have been if he wasn't on steroids. And to me, he should be in the Hall of Fame right now. But unfortunately, I'm not a voter, so I can't really be the judge of that. But
that's the only thing about all them guys. None of them needed it.
No,
exactly. I mean, they probably would have been just fine without it. But
I know Roger Clemens would have been. Because Roger Clemens, when I was a kid, was one of him and Dwight Gooden were the best pitchers one year. And, he was in his early 20s, and he wasn't on steroids. I can tell you that.
No. Taking a look at Aaron Judge right here on screen. Y'all can look at it. Podcast listeners, we're looking at Aaron Judge. He's batting .291. He's got 19 homers right now and 40 RBIs. So, hey, that's how you get it done right there.
So it don't look like he's going to be
swapping
62 this year.
I think they were going to play the Mariners. Like they got a series coming up with them. He's got done playing LA. So we'll see how it turns out. And as far as Braves baseball, they're having a stellar year right now. So, and they got a lot more. It ain't close to playoffs.
How many teams go to the playoffs?
Well, it used to be 12. You'd have the division winners. You'd have the 3 division winners, and then you have was it 2 wild cards? Yeah, it was 2 wild cards and then a division winner. It used to be. So 5 teams from each conference. Now I think it's 7, 6. I think it's 7 now. I could be wrong on that, and I should know that, but I believe it's 7. So you have 14 teams going to I think it's 14 teams going to the playoffs every year, which kind of diminishes the –
that's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's almost half of the entire league. So it kind of diminishes it a little bit, but obviously if you get in, you're still one of the best teams in baseball. So, but with the wild card,
there wasn't hardly anybody going. I think you might have had to win your division. I don't even know if they did the wild card in the early '80s.
Jeff said that he don't like the drug users being in the Hall of Fame because if they go, then Pete Rose should go. I totally agree because Pete Rose, I don't know what to do because, man, come on, get out of here. Don't tell me about gambling like nobody else.
He didn't gamble on his team.
I don't want to hear that.
Maybe if he gambled on them, it'd be different.
Pete Rose is not, if not the best, maybe one of the best switch hitters. Guys, he batted, over 300 left and right-handed. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. Are you serious right now?
Yes.
I don't want to. He needs to be put in the Hall of Fame and give Reggie Bush his Heisman Trophy back too.
Now, I mean, if Pete Rose was out there making bets and doing things to win the bet, like I'm going to take this pitcher out, or I'm going to bat this guy in 6th spot today instead of 4th because I want to win this bet. That's different, but that's not what he was doing.
Well, like I'm going to strike out so we lose this game because
right.
I'm going to make sure we win. That's not what was going on.
I'm going to make him. I'm going to steal this runner right here because we might win, and I bet on us to lose. Yeah, so
money can
but that's
change
not
people.
what he did. Huh?
I said money can change people. Money can make people pretty evil.
The love of money is the root of all evil, and that's what the good book says.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's the truth. It's the only truth in the world, really.
Yeah, it causes it to go around.
Dean, thank you for that information on Braves.
Yeah, you seem to know your baseball.
Yeah,
very well.
I knew he knew. I knew he knew, and we wanted to come hang out with us and talk some other stuff here. Dean's going to talk about Kentucky football. He's a blue state there, Wildcat. His family's up there.
Not a big football fan.
So supposedly this quarterback, he's supposed to be great.
Mhm.
Tell us more about it.
All right, let's start out about the Kentucky Wildcats. They lost Will Levis. He didn't get drafted in the first round. Am I right?
Well, no, he supposedly, now just from what I've watched, he's a little bit of a hard to get along with. I'll just say that.
Levis is.
Yeah. He his abilities are great, but just not real. He's not your friendly neighborhood grocery store guy.
Well, Kentucky's struggle last year was with offense, 116th in scoring, 112th in yards per game.
That ain't gonna work.
But they brought back Liam Cohen. He's going to be their OC. Everybody loves him. He's supposed to be great. And he brought in Devin Leary from North Carolina State, who had 6,800 yards but was hurt most of last year. Only passed for 1,200 last year. But the year before that, he threw for 3,400. So he's a great addition. He's going to take Levis's spot. The line for Kentucky last year was awful. Now, y'all tell me, but they've got most of them back. Is that a good thing?
Experience always experience a lot of times outweighs talent sometimes.
Right.
It depends on the coaching and what do they get out of it, and the kids are hungry and they want to get back out there and they're ready.
Well, their line was not considered good by no means last year. And, Kentucky went 7-6, but they do have most of those linemen back, and they have a transfer from actually USC that can help them on the offensive line. But the biggest transfer was running back Ray Davis from Vanderbilt.
Smokes, because he.
Yeah, Kowalski Smoke moved on. He transferred. Ray Davis gained 1,042 yards for Vanderbilt last year. And the main reason they think Kentucky will be a lot better is because of Leary and Dane Key and Barry Brown, their two receivers. 75 catches, 1,147 yards between them. Both freshman All-Americans. And Barry Brown averages 27 yards a kick return, which was one of the best in the nation. And I'll tell you I'll tell you some more about Kentucky's schedule here in a minute. Defensively, Kentucky does not bring back a lot. They bring back 6 starters. But you need to bring back more than 6 starters to be solid on defense. Kentucky didn't rack it up in the transfer portal either, except for Leary and Davis. Defensively, they didn't. They do have a potential All-American in Deion Walker on the D-line. Secondary needs some work. They don't have a lot of experience. Linebackers don't have a lot of experience.
That ain't sounding good.
They don't sound great, but here's the best part about Kentucky. Now, Kentucky has the easiest first 5 games in the country.
All right, guys, y'all take a look at the schedule there on screen.
And probably the hardest last 7 in the country. All right, let's go through this right quick. All right, Matt, they play at home versus Ball State. Hayden, you want to pick this one?
Yeah, I think I'll go with I think I'll take a Kentucky W here.
Okay, that's a mid-major team. Then they play Eastern Kentucky. Here's a Division I AA.
Yeah, okay.
Then they stay at home again versus Akron. Okay, I'm thinking they're going to be 3-0.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say 4-0.
And they travel to Vandy, which you don't play good at Vandy, you could get upset. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, they're 4-0, hosting the Gators at home on September the 30th.
See, and the Gators are rebuilt. I'm thinking Kentucky's going to be 5-0.
Okay, and then they will be heading October the 7th to Athens, Georgia. Hayden, what do you feel about the Gators and the Wildcats matching up there in Lexington? Any chance that the Gators pull this off?
Against Georgia? No, you're talking about Florida.
I think that there's a chance for Florida to beat Kentucky, but Kentucky is – I think to me Kentucky returns a little bit too much or I say returns. I think Kentucky has a little bit too much offensively, and I don't think that defense is going to be great for Florida either. And Florida's offense is not going to be a bright spot for them. But I'm not saying that this Florida team is going to be absolutely horrible, and I don't think they're going to be great either. I'm a believer in Billy Napier. Don't get me wrong. But he has a buzzsaw to run through as a schedule. So it's not going to be easy at all. You got the number 1 wide receiver targeting out Ricky Pearsall. There we go. I couldn't think of his first name, but you got Ricky Pearsall, who could make some noise at the wide receiver position this year as he did last year. The guy can get open and he can make plays. So if you're Florida, I think you need to get him the ball as much as you can if you're going to be passing the ball. But unfortunately, you don't have Anthony Richardson like you did last year, and you have a huge downgrade in Graham Mertz. And no offense to Graham Mertz, but you can't come in and expect to replace Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson was he was just a phenomenal athlete. I'm going to go with Kentucky, but that's just
the thing that bothers me about it is Florida's got Kentucky's number. They beat them 27 out of the last 30 years. But like you said, hey, Kentucky does have more firepower.
Absolutely.
They got a lot more firepower, I think. And Florida's rebuilding. Now, the next year it may be a different story, but I'm with Hayden on that. I think Kentucky will be 5-0 and ranked in the top 15. Well, they're probably not going to be ranked in the top 15 because they're not going to get any They're not going to get any quality wins there. Florida would probably be considered a quality win. Maybe. But then they go to Georgia.
October 7th at Georgia.
I think there's no way they win that ball game.
No.
No, I don't think they win versus Georgia. I think they beat Missouri, though. I think they go 6-1.
They beat Missouri 6-1, but then they play Tennessee, which they've been known to upset Tennessee. That's a classic, but I don't think they will this year.
October the 28th, they will play Tennessee after tough spotted October 21st playing Idle. Idle is definitely tough.
Idle's probably the best team in the country.
Bye. You got to watch Bye, Hayden. You got to watch those.
You get that joke, don't you, Hayden?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
We're talking about Idle. You know how good a football team they are. Everybody plays them every year.
Yeah.
IDLE, Idle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
It's kind of a running joke here. Sometimes we call it Bye. I mean, Bye is tough. You
Bye,
may lose
Idle, Open.
Open, that's hard. They're undefeated.
I don't think Auburn would have. I don't think Auburn last year could have beaten their bye. So, or the year before.
Yeah, we're going to let you talk about Auburn football. You can break it down here in a minute.
I don't think they beat Tennessee. Might be a good game. Now, here's the catch game for them.
Okay.
They travel to Mississippi State. Does Kentucky win at Mississippi State?
They got a new coach, a lot of new kids, different offense. I assume that Kentucky could win over there.
Okay, we'll give them that one. All right, then. They got back home, but they've got Alabama. They got Alabama. They got Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama. I don't think they win. I don't think they win that. Would y'all agree?
They upset Tennessee.
You think they upset Tennessee?
I think they upset Tennessee this year.
I mean, it's possible. That wouldn't shock me.
I know it sounds kind of crazy to say right now, but with Tennessee, I feel like that a lot of people are putting this team at a 9 or 10 win team, possibly even an 8-4 team. I have Tennessee at 9-3 with Kentucky being their swing game. If they can get Kentucky, then I think they win 10. But I just don't see – I don't know. I feel like Kentucky's going to get them out, especially since they're at home this year.
Well, after Alabama, here's another catch game for Kentucky. They go to South Carolina. I'm going to be honest. I think they lose that one, 110%.
I'm with you.
November 18th, and then the 25th, they will go to Louisville at A&M Stadium there at Louisville, Kentucky, which is a great in-state, and you did a spot on Louisville, and they're going to be okay.
They're going to be okay. Kentucky's kind of been running that little rivalry here lately, though, have they not? Since Lamar Jackson left.
Yeah.
They've been on top of it.
Okay, so according to what we've got here, we've both got them. We've all got them going. 1, 2, 3.
No, they went
8-4.
They went 7-6 last year. So
7-6 last year. Yeah, 8-4. Can we get on board with that? Do we agree with that? Are y'all thinking 7-5 or?
7-5 could be one, but like I said, that Tennessee game is gonna to me, that's gonna be what swings it. So yes, sir. I have Kentucky 8-4 as well.
8-4, 7-5. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all any possible way that Kentucky goes 9-3.
If they beat Tennessee, but Tennessee beat them last year, you can look on the screen, 44-6.
Yes.
They was lucky they kicked 2 field goals. It wasn't even a touchdown. I'm pretty sure that's right.
But even with them beating Tennessee, I'm thinking if they do beat Tennessee, I think South Carolina or Mississippi State will get them. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia or Alabama. I think 8-4, 7-5. maybe at best, at absolute best, 9-3. No way they go 10-2.
No.
They beat Florida last year, 28-16. They beat the Gators last year.
I think they're going to start out 5-0. I'd like to see them beat Georgia. Nothing against Georgia, but I mean, God, that would be great.
Benton, you hear this kind of stuff? Where's he?
Sorry, Benton. Forgive me, buddy. I'd like to see them knock off anybody that's except Alabama. But I'm thinking 8-4, 7-5. I'd be shocked if they went 6-6 again. I think they went 6-6 in the regular season and won their bowl game. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think they'll be a little better because Leary's good.
And
the line coming back.
They went 7-5 last year and lost their bowl game to Iowa.
Yes, they did.
They barely lost, right?
21. No, they beat Iowa 21-10.
Okay. So they went 7-5. So maybe a little bit of improvement, but say they lost a lot of guys on defense, and they've got a tough schedule. I mean, that's a tough schedule. I know at first it's not, but later on it is. So
as you can see here,
that's pretty much all I got on the Cats. So we're going 8-4 or 7-5.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be as good as they was last year. If they can pull off some kind of smoke voodoo show and beat Tennessee.
Possible. I mean, Tennessee's not going to be as good as they were, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. See, they're very up in the air. Kentucky, too. I mean, they got a new quarterbacks coming in, but the same coach, same guy, Stoops, been there for years, very settled. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see how the Wildcats linebackers that you talked about, these guys, coming in.
New.
Yeah.
I think the receivers are going to be the difference for Kentucky. These two guys are good.
But if you had 112th ranked offense or so,
112,
you really got to step your game way up.
Yeah,
way up.
But they still went 7-5 with 112th ranked offense. But that's bad because there's how many teams in FBS? 135, 133.
Yeah.
So they were in the lower. They're in the
lower
worst 10%. Yeah.
That loss against Iowa did not help them out any.
No. Y'all can look at your screen, podcast listeners. Thank all you guys for coming by Spotify and Applecast. Remember, guys, we're here every Sunday night, 6 o'clock live. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're here. Help us grow our YouTube page. Help us spread the word. We do a good show here. It's a good, clean show. We have a good time, and we love having on great guests like Hayden to come on and talk about his Auburn Tigers. And I know we didn't even talk about him doing this, but we just kind of got fired up here. And let's look at Auburn here. Y'all can see it on the screen. They're going to open with UMass. That's going to be a win. I'm going to skip that pretty quick.
Yeah, I think they'll win that.
What do you think about Auburn traveling to California? What do you think about that?
Are you me?
Yes. What do you think about Auburn heading out to California?
Play Cal.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because it's a 9:30 game, and I'm not big on staying up too late on especially. Well, I mean, I'll stay up late on Saturday night. I don't want to sound like too big of a buzzkill, but I'm not big on staying up too late. Anyways, I remember a few years ago when Auburn beat LSU for the first in Baton Rouge for the first time in like 22 years. That game lasted until 12 o'clock because it didn't start till 8 o'clock at night. So it's safe to say for me, I'm not big on staying up late, but I think that Auburn will get the win in California. But that time change could throw them off a little bit, and I'm not particularly sure on how California will be this year. But I have Auburn taking the win there.
I do think you're correct on that. If you play anybody in the Pac-12, that's probably no disrespect, but that's probably who you want to play.
Yeah,
would be Cal.
Yes, Trey Freeze don't go on probation.
Yeah, or Washington State.
Yeah, this year, big Cal and Washington State, I would think. But I mean, it could be a tough game.
Moving to September 16th, they should get the win at home. It's going to be a homecoming game, having homecoming early against Sanford, and then rolling on to a team I'm going to talk about here in a minute. A&M Aggies, they will be at College Station. Hugh Freeze trip out there. He hadn't been out there in quite some time, many years ago.
I'm going to predict them to lose that one.
Think A&M beats them?
Yes. Because it's there.
What you got?
I've got Auburn going 4-0. And my reasoning for this is because Auburn has had A&M's number in College Station the last few years. And there's a lot of question around Texas A&M this year. Are they going to have?
There it is.
Of course, they have the pieces, but are they going to have what it takes to put it all together? You have a new offensive coordinator in Bobby Petrino. I really want to see Petrino take the offense over and let Jimbo let his ego slide a little bit and give the play call into Petrino, because I feel like Petrino can do some good things. But I'm going to take Auburn just for that fact there. And also, I feel like Auburn has something going for them on the offensive side of the ball. There's some question though around Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford, so it's going to be interesting. But I have Auburn in week 4.
Okay. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go with you on this one. I just studied A&M, and I may be showing my hand a little bit early, but I'm just not. I'm not sold on A&M or Jimbo and what he's doing. I will see how Petrino does out there, and I'm going to tell you about some of their players, and we'll look at their schedule too and where they ranked at in recruiting and those kind of things. Auburn Tigers moving on there Saturday the 30th, hosting Georgia.
Yeah, they're going to
probably
drop that.
Probably would be a lot. They're just kind of outmatched right now. Now, Kip Spreece has done a good job in recruiting. He's got a lot of good players in there, and you're going to have Cobb from Montgomery Catholic down there on the scene. And we talked about the kid on the line from Highland Home, and he's done more in the offseason than Harsin did last year for Auburn. So Auburn's not ready to win this game yet.
No, not yet. I wouldn't think he could be expected to.
Maybe in a year or two. And then they'll have, of course, the all-eluded, terrible, terrible team of Idle, October the 7th.
3-3.
They're going to come off Idle, and they're going to be at LSU. What do you think about the Georgia and LSU here? What do you got about that? Auburn at Georgia.
LSU.
Do they have a shot? Do they have a chance?
It would be a shot in the dark. And my reasoning is because I have LSU winning the SEC West this year. I'll go ahead and give that away. I don't think Auburn has what it takes, especially defensively. I think this LSU team is going to be fantastic on the offensive side of the ball this year. I don't see Auburn. I don't see Auburn keeping it close enough to be within striking distance in the fourth quarter. So I took LSU, and LSU, that's my SEC West winner. So.
Okay.
All right. And October 21st, Auburn will be at home for Ole Miss. I think that'll be an interesting game.
They've got a tough schedule.
Ole Miss has got SEC is going to be – because you're going to be playing these – look who Auburn's playing.
I mean, it's awful.
Dude, they got to go to Cal, and they're going to come back for homecoming and get a gimme game for Stanford. But then they're going to – after they get back from playing Stanford at home, after the California trip, then they're going to go to College Station. Then they're going to host Georgia. Then they get a break, take a break there. Then they're going to go to Baton Rouge. Then they're going to come home and play Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin and them, they're fired up.
Junkins is good. Dart or Sanders, whoever.
That Junkins kid, what do you think about him, Hayden?
Man, he is insane. He had 16 total touchdowns last year and over 5,000 all-purpose yards. The guy's just an absolute dog. I don't really know how to put it other than that. He's fantastic. He'll be one of the better running backs this upcoming year. And then maybe in a few years you'll see him go in the first round of the NFL draft. But Quinshon Judkins he's going to be the offensive player to watch out for the Ole Miss Rebels this year, or Land Sharks, whatever you want to call them. I agree. How politically correct you want me to be, but it's definitely something to see because he was just phenomenal last year. And if he can total 1,500 yards on offense and 16 total touchdowns alone in his freshman year, I don't even want to begin to even fathom what is going to happen within the next few years with him.
Well, is Auburn going to be good enough up front? Defensively up front, their linebackers, and we're going to get into Auburn in the next few weeks. We're going to start doing. We did the Pac-12. We've done Big 10. We've done Big 12. Gosh, this summer we've been all over the country and covered.
Yes.
So
literally,
now
the whole country.
We're going to get into SEC from here on out, and then when season kicks, of course, we'll be stuck on there. But is Auburn got the dudes defensively to wrangle Junkins at home at Auburn? Now, listen, this game's at Auburn, and it's going to – I don't say what time. If they play that game at night, I'm telling you, be careful, Ole Miss. Auburn can pull this game out.
Yeah, definitely.
I
think Auburn's going to be 4-3 after those 7 games. I don't know if Texas A&M is going to beat them or Ole Miss. I think they'll beat one of them.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I have them 4-7 after their first, or excuse me, 4-3 after their first 7 games.
Right.
The next few weeks are a different story, but for the first 7 weeks, I have them at 4-3.
They kind of settle down. Then after that, we'll go into the Halloween weekend. They'll get to host another home game. They'll play the Mississippi State. I think they win that game, and then they're going to go to Vanderbilt. Now, I said this early when I watched their spring game, and maybe I got a little too excited because I was watching Vanderbilt's spring game. I'm just saying that Tutter kid is good. I'm just saying this. I'm not calling – and I said that when I said this a month ago. I'm not picking Vanderbilt to beat Auburn. I'm just saying Auburn better be careful, and their D-backs better not go up there just kind of grinning and smiling, their mouthpieces stuck in the top of their helmets and just kind of loafing. That QB is good at Vanderbilt. Have you seen him play?
I have not. I have not gotten to see him play. No.
Check him out. Hey, go just hit YouTube. I think it's Sean Taylor
well, they're going to upset somebody.
He's
we
good.
Pick Vanderbilt not to win the SEC game. They're going to upset somebody. We just don't know who, and I'm afraid to pick who.
He's good, guys. Go look him up on YouTube. He's really good. I like how he plays. I like the excitement of the coach. And hey, I'm just saying. Now I'm not calling for the upset, so don't get me swung out on that. But Vanderbilt's going to
be all right.
Yeah. Now they're going to go to Arkansas November 11th. What do we feel about our last year's coach of the year?
Arkansas is going to be that great.
Pittman. I don't either.
They don't have enough firepower.
Yeah, you're right. And their defense is so what's the word? I'll just say not good.
Right.
Not good. Especially because you lose Drew Sanders, you lose Bumper Pool, you lose Miles Slusher, and you lose the other cornerback to Texas as well, Jalen Catalan. So you lose some of your top defensive players. You didn't have Slusher play much last year anyways, though. But
Catalan moved on?
It's not going to be good for you. What's that?
I did not know Catalan transferred.
Yes, sir. He transferred to Texas.
He's pretty good. He was pretty good. I'd studied on Arkansas. We did a piece on them. And, of course, they've got Jefferson and Sanders who are good, but they just don't have a lot around them.
No, they don't.
I think we picked them to go 6-6, 7-5 at best.
I have Arkansas 7-5.
So we kind of feel Auburn.
Forward to is Jaden Hazelwood to see if he is able to make some key plays, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So we kind of we're kind of agreeing here. We got Auburn coming off maybe a close game with Ole Miss, but then they're going to go home and beat Mississippi State. They're going to go beat Vanderbilt. They're going to go to Arkansas and win. They're coming off quite a run there. They're going to get to host, of course, New Mexico State. They win that game, and there'll be time for the Iron Bowl, which is at Auburn. And rankings and talk and jibber jabber all comes to a screeching halt when you got a Notre Dame quarterback versus a Michigan State quarterback playing in the Iron Bowl. What is going on with that, Hayden? Tell us about that.
Oh man, it's interesting. Tyler Buchner he is a big question mark in my book because I watched him play last year before his injury, and then after you got to see him come back a little bit. I'm just not sold on him. I'm also not too sold on Tommy Rees. I think Tommy Rees is going to be decent. Now, is he going to be able to carry that offense from decent to great? I don't think so. And that's why I have Alabama going 10-2 this year.
Be another good year.
It's going to be interesting though. In the Iron Bowl, you're going to have maybe is it going to be Peyton Thorne? Is it going to be Robbie Ashford? You would think Peyton Thorne, but I'm not completely sold on him just yet. I'm not completely sold on Alabama's quarterback or Auburn's quarterback situation just yet. It's going to be interesting.
Well, believe it or
Auburn's rest of the schedule, I have them beating Michigan State, or excuse me, you have my mind on Michigan State, beating Mississippi State and beating Vandy, and then you lose to Arkansas, you beat New Mexico State, and then you lose to Alabama. So I have Auburn finishing 7-5. Now
I'd say that's about right.
Can they do better than that? They could pull off an upset somewhere, or they could be upset somewhere. It's difficult to say right now, but that's how I have Auburn shaping up the rest of the year.
Hayden, let me ask you. We're all picking them to go 7-5.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we do this. Me and Matt do this. At best, that 8-4. Would you think possibly 8-4?
At best, Yes, at best. At best, I'd say 9-3 because you have and one game that I think about is the Iron Bowl this year because you have an Alabama team that is not necessarily returning the most talent that they have within the past years. So it's going to be interesting, and especially if this game is played at night, if it's played at 6 o'clock or 2:30, then we're in for a show because I feel like that if it's played in those time frames, that Jordan-Hare is going to be rocking, and Auburn is you're going to have those fans rocking. You obviously are going to have the team rocking because it's the Iron Bowl. This is the best rivalry in college sports, so it's going to be interesting. So I would put Auburn's ceiling right now at 9-3. I think you definitely lose to Georgia, LSU, and I think you get upset or whichever way you want to throw it, LSU or Arkansas, but. It's absolute worst. I've got them 5-7. That's at worst. Absolute worst. Yeah.
Hey, looking at since we're on Auburn, let's go over here and look at their 2024 schedule, and I'm sure you've looked at this too. And we got Auburn. They're going to have Oklahoma at Auburn, and they're also going to be hooking up with Kentucky again. And at some point, while they'll be hosting this year, Cal's going to come out here, so they're going to have this home and away. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Auburn hooking up, getting to host Oklahoma?
It's interesting. It's very interesting. But with one thing that I like to think about is how is Brent Venables going to respond to that first year? It was not a great year by any means. You go 6-6. So it wasn't a great year to start out for Brent Venables at Oklahoma. You have a bunch of talent leave and follow Lincoln Riley to USC, and then you have players go other places as well. So with Brent Venables coming in, these next 2 years are going to be key. You've got to get some good players coming into this year because next year you run into the gauntlet that is the SEC, and if you're not prepared, you're going to get slapped in the face. And if you get slapped in the face your first year in the SEC, which I think they probably will, it's not going to leave a good taste in their mouths, and they're going to be missing a little bit of Big 12 ball. But I could be completely wrong. They could come in just fully loaded. It's going to be interesting to see. One thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing how Texas is going to look as well, because Texas is going to look good this year in my humble opinion. I think that Texas wins the Big 12. And then you go into the SEC next year, and hopefully maybe if you're Texas fans, hopefully you're going to go in feeling pretty confident about yourselves. But with Oklahoma, I can't say the same thing this year because you look at last year, Oklahoma got blown out in the Red River rivalry. There you go.
See, I say that real fast 3 times.
I think they both will be competitive in the league. I don't think either one of them will be bad in the SEC.
Next year, Oklahoma schedule. This is what we're looking at, podcast listeners. Oklahoma's going to have Temple, Tulane, Texas. These are not uncommon games. Now we're going to get in. They're going to be at Auburn. They're going to be at LSU. They're going to play Missouri. They're going to host Alabama, and they're going to host South Carolina, and they're going to get to host Tennessee, which I think some of those –
I think they lose 3 or 4 of those.
Some of those games, I don't think the home and away is exactly correct because they are at Auburn, at LSU, at Missouri, at Ole Miss, and then Oklahoma hosts Texas, Bama, South Carolina, Tennessee. Welcome to the show, boys.
That's
Oklahoma got a big old dose of it.
Yeah, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, I think, that first year. And like you said, I don't think that either team is going to be bad. No. But it's with how they're set up, it's just they aren't set up to be wonderful. And you have Michigan, or excuse me, not Michigan. You have Texas coming in as well, and having Michigan their first year in the SEC, along with you have Auburn. You don't get Alabama. Do you get Alabama in 2024 if you're Texas? I don't.
Yeah, we're looking at it right here on the screen. Yes, they have. Texas goes to Michigan. Uh-huh. And of course, they're going to play Oklahoma. Then they're going to be at Arkansas. They're going to play Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and A&M. No, they don't get Bama because they just come out of the home and away with them.
Well, everybody's doing these tough schedules. It'd be by 2029, an 8-4 team may win it all.
Yeah, well, that's what they want because it brings. We've talked about this
parity.
Saban was griping because all the students are leaving the stands. They're sick and tired of seeing Alabama. They're sick and tired of seeing them be up 50 down at halftime. And all the kids are leaving the game. And he said on a podcast or whatever, on an interview, he said, just like the pros up here, you want mid-season everybody be 6-6 because then the fans are going, hey, wait a minute, I don't know if my team may not make playoffs. I want to go this game and see this game because this may be a good game. That's what you want to do. That's the whole point of this, is to put butts in seats because then you can sell TV ads because nobody wants to buy a TV ad, ESPN or Fox or Hulu or Amazon. You show the stadium and it's like there's nobody there. So, but look at Texas stepping out here. They're going to play. They're going to play Michigan and Florida and Georgia. Hey, man, I can dig it.
You got to be ready to play, don't you?
I wouldn't sleep on UTSA either.
Oh, Texas, San Antonio? No. They're pretty good.
They got a quarterback that's supposed to be some kind of high quality. I've read about.
But for SEC fans to think that Oklahoma and Texas fixing to be the whipping boys of the SEC, they're lying to yourselves because they're not. They're not going to be the worst teams in the conference.
No,
they won't.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
they'll get worse. They're going to be in the middle of the pack. That first year may be tough on them. But.
Yeah, and I agree. It's going to be tough for them. But like you said, I don't think they're going to be the worst team, near the worst team in the conference. You still have Vandy and Missouri, so I feel like those two teams are going to be at the bottom of the barrel. But I feel like in 2024, I feel like that these two teams are probably going to be in the middle of the pack.
Well, it sounds to me like you can have a good team and be one of the bottom teams in the conference.
Well, that's what they want. I mean, they want to have a 4-loss team.
Yeah,
that's going to come into the 12-team playoff. Remember, that starts next year, and we're getting rid of East and West. So you're going to have – you could have Alabama and Arkansas. I don't know. I'm just saying. Or you could have –
you could have an 11-4 national champion.
Well, you could have Auburn – and what if Auburn and Alabama wind up at some point playing each other for the SEC? I don't know. I'm just saying. And then –
that would be interesting.
Well, and then say if Auburn loses, say they're ranked 5 and Bama's ranked 7, and when they go in the Iron Bowl, the winner's going to get bumped up, and the loser's not going to drop out of the top 12. So even losing the conference game, you're still maybe get bumped to 10 or 12.
Right.
So if you're 12, you come in the first week of playoff and you play number 5. So the Iron Bowl could implicate if you're 5, you could bump to 4 and have the first week off. This is fixing to get wild, guys. Hang on for – college football is fixing to get crazy, and with a portal,
sounds like it's going to get you out of control.
And with the NIL deals and all that stuff going on, the game is getting more evened out, and it's becoming more of an even thing to where Bama's and Clemson's and Ohio State's they're just not going to run away with it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a good thing, I think.
Well, it's going to make for better football. That's the whole point of all this. Really, because to make money, you got to put butts in seats. We all know that. You got if ain't nobody there, to buy you beer or buy you hot dogs. Then I mean, what are you doing? Right?
Was Alabama really losing? I don't see why he troubles himself with this thought process.
Well, look, guys. Now,
how old is he now?
Who's Saban?
I mean, I love him to death. But
well, you got to remember, he said too a while ago. Remember. In the NIL period, and people were saying that Saban's scared, and we've heard this on other podcasts.
I don't agree with that.
Well, if the NIL is struggling with Bama, why did they have the best recruiting class in the history of college football? The same year that we've got some of the biggest NIL deals going on. This is the best class he's ever had, ever. These kids are freshmen that are coming in, the best class he's ever had. We've seen Roy Dell. We've seen all these guys play. The SEC is not scared. Alabama is king of the SEC, even though Georgia's won it 2 years. He's not scared to play anybody. This whole idea in 2012, AL.com, was Saban's idea to play a 9-conference schedule.
But it sounds like by the year 2030, your best teams in the country, you're going to be fantastic. You go 9-3.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a 12-team playoff.
Right.
And if you, like Auburn, say the example we give, if Auburn lost, or say Auburn wins the Iron Bowl, boom, they get bumped 4, Bama goes down to 10. They get in the playoffs, they might wind up playing again. How crazy would that be?
It's going to create some parity, I think. It's going to be crazy. You better be good, but it's going to be easy to be bad, too. That's the thing, scary part.
Well, because Bama, Georgia, Clemson's not just loading up on all the good players.
Your schedules are going to be so tough. I mean,
the players are spread out.
Mhm.
Look what Dion's done.
Right.
The 12th man, Texas A&M Aggies, September 2nd, host New Mexico State. And then on the 9th, they will be at Miami. We're looking at the screen, the schedule here on
You
screen.
think they win that?
I don't know.
Is it at Miami?
Yes.
They beat them last year.
Well,
but
they have a 51% chance to win this game, hosted by what DraftKings or Rivals. No, they're not a sponsor. They will host Auburn. They have a 76% chance, it says, to host and win it, to beat Auburn. And I think, did we both pick Auburn to lose that one? Or no?
I picked them to lose to Ole Miss or A&M. I think I did have them picked to lose to A&M. 7-5. I had Auburn going 7-5.
Did we have? I think me and you agreed to that Auburn beat A&M, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think Auburn.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, sir. I think Auburn beats A&M.
I got A&M losing to Miami, but beating Auburn.
The 30th, they will be at Jerry World playing Arkansas, 61% chance. The 7th, they will host Alabama, 17% chance. The 14th at Tennessee, starred by that game. South Carolina, the 28th, the November 4th at Ole Miss, and then 11th, they got Mississippi State. November the 15th at LSU, 20% chance to win that game.
Boys, I got them at 5-5 right now,
Really?
at best.
I'll fire him if they go 5-5.
What's their last two?
They're gonna have some money somewhere. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go rob Metro Bank or something because
I don't think they do any better than 6-6 guys. I mean, hey, Matt studied on them, and I don't know a lot about them, but that's a tough schedule.
It is.
It's a 2:30 game at Miami on ABC also.
See, I don't think they win that.
Well, see, they got the Warhawks, then they got Auburn, and we've already picked them to lose to Auburn. So we're talking about them going 2-2, going to host Jerry World, the Razorbacks. I think they beat Arkansas 3-2. They lose to Bama 3-3. They lose to Tennessee 3-4. 4-4. They beat South Carolina at Ole Miss 5-4. If they beat Ole Miss,
if they beat Ole Miss.
They could wind up winning six games, 7.
I got them 7-5 at best. 6-6.
Now,
worst 5-7.
Their schedule is not. It's not as bad as some other people's schedules. So let's take a look at this closer. They have some veterans back for the Aggies. Wide receivers Aiyana Smith, defensive tackle Jackson, and then their strong safety Richardson. At quarterback, Connor Wagan. Plus, having Stewart back at receiver is going to be big. And we talked about Bobby Petrino a while ago. He's going to be calling the plays. They were 101st. They were 101st last year in offense. The A&M Aggies, 101st in offense. So definitely Bobby should be able to gain up on some of that. Defensively, they struggled a lot against the run last year. They lost 5 games, guys, by 6 points or less.
5 games.
5 games. Now,
I didn't realize that.
Now, finishing 5-7, Jimbo's 8th year at A&M. He did win a title in 13, of course. They finished 15th in recruiting, which is not too bad. They went up with 2 5-stars, a defensive lineman, Hicks, and a running back, Owens, from Texas.
Yeah, he's supposed to be good.
Yes, and they have 8 4-stars. A lot of defensive players. I mean, I think there was 2 athletes in that bunch and a cornerback maybe in that bunch. So now Wagan has played in 5 games last year. Their wide receiver Smith, he was out a lot. Yes, he is a 5th-year senior though.
Yes, he's very good.
Moose Muhammad III, put a star by that. All-American freshman last year. Moose Muhammad III, wide receiver for Texas A&M. Running back All-American, gone. Of course, we knew about him. Yes, God, man, he was great.
Yeah, he was.
I really did. Really enjoyed watching him play.
He was good.
Oh, crap. What happened here? Now, we went through the schedule there. I'll get off that screen and put us back up here.
I just think the schedule's tough. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, here's the thing. They've got to get better up front. Without this, because Zoan, Robinson, Fothery, and the center, Foster, the center missed a lot of games last year. And DeBerry was great, but can they build more? Can they build up? And can A&M build off some type of guys. I'm telling you, they're going to have to build up on some kind of momentum because they cannot go 5-7. There's no way they can go 5-7.
They'll fire him if they go 5-7.
Defensive coach DJ Durkin.
Yeah,
people's raved about him, talked about him.
Ole Miss, right?
123rd last year, ranked deep. What?
I didn't realize they were that bad.
Bad.
What happened?
They don't have any type of – their pass defense was not bad at all.
Just the linebackers and D-line.
Yes, but their D-line, they just had a lot of trouble. Jackson and Diggs, they will be key players coming back on defense. Nolan, Turner, they've got to be leaders on the defense. We've got corners and safeties and the guys. Something's got to go on to help more linebackers, Russell Jr., Cooper Jackson. Cooper is a Jackson State transfer, which is Jernette Davis.
Played for Dion.
Yep, he will get a lot of snaps. Pass ranking defense was legit. So I said they were stopping a lot of passes.
But they just couldn't get no pressure on the quarterback.
No,
they were giving up a lot of
gashing the offense, running plays. Just giving up a lot of yards.
And they nearly beat Alabama, I mean, they did.
North Carolina transfer Tony Grimes will be added to this defense. Anderson also, too. He'll play nickelback. Looking at some of those at the schedule and going through that.
Who was their quarterback last year? Hayden, do you remember? I can't remember anymore.
Texas A&M's?
Yes.
Well, they had about 5 of them.
I know.
But who was the one that played so well against Alabama?
They
threw it in the end zone on the last play against Alabama.
I want to say it was Haynes King, but it could be
okay.
That. It was either
I
Haynes
think you're
King
right.
or Connor Wigman, but I think it was Haynes King. But Haynes King transferred.
It wasn't
out
Wigand.
Georgia Tech, maybe.
It was not. It wasn't Wigand. It was King. You're right.
King, yeah.
Yeah, and then
whatever happened to Calzada?
Went to Auburn.
Graduated. What? Who's that?
I said, whatever happened to Zach Calzada? I mean, is he not in the running at Auburn at all?
No. So he transferred out, and he went to a Christian school in Texas, I do believe.
Yeah,
I cannot remember the name of it, but
some little small school.
They were actually the FCS team that he transferred to was in the playoffs this year, and actually
Texas Corpus Christi or somebody like that.
No, it wasn't Corpus Christi.
Gosh, look at this kid.
No, I can't think of the name. I cannot think of the name for the life of me.
He's a good quarterback. I think he'll do well.
Looking at last year's A&M schedule, look at the L's. From starting October the 1st to November the 12th, they lost first game out to the Bulldogs 42-24. I remember that game. It wasn't really even a good game. Then they lose to Auburn. They shouldn't have lost that game, 13-10 at Auburn. And then they win against UMass, and then they beat LSU. Of course, they didn't go to a bowl game.
How in the world did they beat LSU?
I don't know. I remember that happened. I thought they just went.
What was the final in that game?
38-23.
Wow.
LSU beats A&M. A&M beat LSU. LSU went brain dead. They beat Alabama, and they lost their mind. Everybody does. Look what happened in Tennessee. They got smoked by South Carolina.
Yeah, but South Carolina beats 6 to beat Tennessee and Clemson back to back.
Look at that schedule there. Holy crud, man. They lost a lot of games continuously after another.
Oh, and
my goodness.
Calzada, he's an incarnate word now in San Antonio.
Incarnate. Oh gosh, you're amazing.
Yeah,
they're great.
They were pretty good last year. So I don't know if he's going to go in and contend for a quarterback spot or not, but
I know a guy taught in school that plays for Southern Illinois, and I looked up who they were going to play one Saturday because I was going to keep up with the stats. And it said they were playing Incarnate Word. And I'm like, well, they'll beat them to death. He may get to run it a lot. Well, I look back over there later, and it's like 57-25. Incarnate Word won. I mean, so no, they're one of the best teams in that. What would that be considered? Division I AA?
FCS.
FCS.
Or Division II, one of the two. I can't remember. I think it's FCS, though.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's
yes,
FCS.
They're very good. He'll have to play good to be their quarterback.
Yeah, they're not no pushover.
No.
Yeah, Jeff says A&M has the money to buy Jimbo out, and it's going to be in the $20 million area, I think. $20 million is going to cost to buy Jimbo out.
I think you ought to give him this year and see how he goes. He goes 8-4, we'll keep him.
$20 million.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it again. If A&M, if they go 5-7,
he's gone. But I see him going 5-7 possibly.
There's no way. There's no way that A&M can come in here and you can tell me that they're going to pay him again another year. And remember the recruit class they had 2 years ago?
No, it was the best in the country.
Yeah,
but half of them left
in the history of college football.
But half of them's gone, right? Or maybe more than half.
They better get something together. And from what I just told you, we talked about some players coming back. You got some All-American receivers coming back. You got a guy on defense. They've added DJ and Durkin, defensive coach. He better know what's going on. He better smell what the Rock's cooking.
Yeah, he's a good one.
they better figure it out.
He's a good one.
Hey, the Rock.
I like that one.
He's a good one. He's got another year eligibility, don't he?
The Rock.
Yeah, he played for Miami.
Roman Reigns does too. He played at Georgia Tech.
Who?
Roman Reigns, the heavy champ.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Samoan guy. He's one of the heavyweight, the Universal champ for WWE.
Who was the guy that played for Georgia? Oh, Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the longest.
He started for Georgia.
Yes.
Now, The Rock did not start for Miami.
No.
But they were loaded back then.
Yeah.
In all respect to The Rock, he made the team. That's great.
He was good. He's a good ball player.
People will try to tell you, he started. No, he didn't. Every one of their linebackers started on pro teams.
Yeah.
And he was their backup.
They were loaded back then.
Yes, bad, because Alabama upset them to win the national championship in '92.
See, I remember, that group 10 years later, Shockley and all that group.
Oh, yeah. The Miami.
How many was it, like 28 first-round picks on that team? 28. I mean, those are we're talking about back in the early 2000s.
At some point, yeah.
2000, 01, 02. Man, guys, we've talked about a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah.
We went through Auburn football next season and even the next season after. We talked about A&M and Kentucky. We got them.
We've got 5 teams covered now in the SEC. I think we've covered Arkansas, South Carolina, and these 3 now. So
I don't know.
What we got left? 9.
I mean, y'all agree or not? I don't see who's going to have the biggest change, the biggest turnaround. We'll end it with this. Who's going to have the biggest turnaround for the season, for the conference, for the SEC? Who?
That's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go over that.
Yeah.
After this. Let's do this first.
Yeah,
the biggest turnaround. Who's going to be the most improved team in the conference?
Yeah, like I would first right off the bat, I'm going to say Auburn.
I would think Auburn or Florida.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You think Auburn's going to?
I don't know about Mississippi State.
I'd say Auburn because I feel like they're going to have a few more wins than they did last year. And when I mean a few more, I mean I think at least 3 from going from 5-7 to 8-4 or 7-5, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
If not them, then LSU because LSU was a 3-loss team last year going into the bowl game, and I just feel like that if not, it'll be LSU. But people expect LSU to do good this year. So if you want to go by strictly of expectations, then LSU. But if not, then probably Auburn.
And I know we didn't bring this up, but for some reason, I don't know why, and I just cannot get it out of my head. And a lot of people think they're going to be good, but I don't think South Carolina is going to be as good as advertised.
No, I broke them down a few weeks ago.
I just don't.
They're having to move receivers to the backfield.
Right.
And Spencer Rattler is what he is, and we know they won that Tennessee game because what I told you what happened. Tennessee players were into it. Offensive defense were arguing before the game, and the defense said, well, I tell you what, we'll just go out here and just give it away. And you could tell, you could go back and watch the game. They were loafing on half the plays. They were letting the receivers from South Carolina run wide open. When they did, they wouldn't try to run them down.
Right.
But I like Coach Beamer.
Oh, I do too. I just don't.
I like Shane.
Don't know if they pulled a couple of big upsets last year, but I don't know if they can duplicate that again.
Here's what should happen. So I'm going to say Auburn should probably be our most improved. But let me tell you what, logically, if you think logically, here's who should be the most improved. The most improved team next year, we'll put this down in a YouTube short. A&M.
That should be. They need to be. They need to be for him.
Dude, they win 5 games. I mean, you've got to be able to.
They may be.
You got to be able to improve over 5 games.
Yeah.
You would think they would, right?
Well, I'd say there's a good chance they'll improve.
But
You would think. We would
But
think.
their schedule's pretty brutal.
But thinking and looking and watching the game, and we watch recruiting pretty close and transfers, I'm going to go with Auburn and say they'll probably be they'll win 2 or 3 more games
I
than
think
they.
with the new coach coming in and all the
Well, he can recruit. That's where Harsin failed.
and all the hoopla around Harsin and who was going to be the next coach. I think they
You can
will
open
be.
that if you want to. We're going to talk about some Elite 11 stuff. And have you watched any of the Elite 11 or caught it? I caught some of it, and I just picked up on it because of the rowing guy that's headed to play for the Bulldogs. And now we're going to look into Justin Saying kid. We're going to see how all this works out.
All right. He won the Elite 11. He was named the top quarterback at the camp.
He was the MVP of the
MVP.
Yeah.
All right. Julian Sane, I thought it was Carlsbad, California.
Carlsbad.
Which, California, I mean, there's some good ones coming out of there. We got to admit it. I mean, Young and, Daniels came from out of there. He was good for a while. And where's he at now, Hayden?
JT.
Where's JT at now?
JT Daniels is he was at West Virginia last year.
West Virginia last year.
That's right.
Now
Okay, but at one time there, he looked like he was going to be pretty.
He's at another school too now, so I'm not sure where
He
he's
left
at.
West Virginia too.
Yes, sir. So you had him and Keaton Slovis. They're a bunch of transferring machines. So
Slovis has transferred 2 or 3 times, hasn't he?
mm-hmm.
They were really upset about him transferring too.
Time maybe. But then JT Daniels, I think this is his 4th time transferring too, because he was at where was he at first? I can't remember.
USC.
Yeah, USC.
Yeah,
He transferred to LSU, not LSU, excuse me, Georgia. Then he went to Virginia, and then now it's his 4th time transferring. So,
yeah, Slovis. I know they were upset with Slovis because they didn't even feel like they did bad. I mean, I think they went 8-4 and he could have came back, and he did good. It was kind of an odd transfer, but Julian Sane going to Alabama, 5,000 yards in the last 2 years in high school. That's in 24 games. But here's the stat that'll get you: 55 touchdowns, 7 interceptions
In 2 years.
in 2 years.
Yeah, I believe his accuracy seems like it's probably pretty good.
21-3 record. They did not win the state championship. 66% accuracy. His pre-reads are great. He gets out of the pocket good. He's been compared to Bryce Young. He doesn't have great arm strength, but what this guy does have, he's 6'1", about 190 or 200, or 6 foot, 6'1". But they say that this guy's accuracy is absolutely ridiculous.
Says JT's at West Virginia still. ESPN does.
So I think that's why they compare him to Bryce Young, because Young was accurate. Come on, man.
Yeah.
He completed 1 pass out there. I mean, you couldn't have completed that in a phone booth.
No, I know. Very accurate.
And I say that's what this guy is.
You see how small he looks, the offensive lineman? You see how he just – God, man, Bryce is so small. But anyway.
Well, this guy's – his accuracy, he's right there with Bryce, they say.
He seems like, the little video we watched from 24/7 Sports, they were out there covering this Elite 11, Hayden. And the guy that helps run this camp, and he has for, how long did he say, 10, 12 years he's been doing it?
Yes, at least.
He's a young guy, too. He said his intangibles are great, talked about his accuracy. He said, but when he goes to the huddle, how he seems like the guys just look at him. They listen to him.
I heard that, too. Dominant, very dominant field leader.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the quarterback, and there's no doubt about it, and you're going to listen to what I have to. Nobody's going to take the huddle over.
Yeah, we're going to win this game. Just do what you're supposed to do, and I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
Not in a negative way either. I mean, he's not dominant in a negative way, but it's very big presence in the huddle.
Being a leader, that's what being a leader is all about. So he's going to be playing Alabama, and the Rowan kid. He's number 1, I think, in the country right now. He'll be playing with the Georgia Bulldogs. So
but they say the accuracy is just
kind of strange,
uncanny. Yeah, it's just like absurd.
Yeah.
It is.
What else you got for us, Hayden? You want to talk about anything? Tell us people where they can find you at, or I know you do some stuff on Facebook. You do a little live show where you do the same kind of thing and talk college football. Tell people where they can find you at.
Thank you. Thank you for plugging that. I appreciate it. I do a live show on Facebook. This upcoming fall is going to be every Monday night around 5:00. We don't have all the details yet, but that is what I want to do. We've got some sponsorships in the work and some stuff going on behind the scenes that I think are really going to help us out. And I also have a podcast that I do. It's called the Hayden Coker Show. You can find it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So we're trying to get some more things going right now. I haven't uploaded an episode in a minute, but I'm trying to find the right time and the right place to do that, and with the right people on it as well. And hopefully, with some key guests that we've had is Appy Jones from Valley Sports Network, and we've also had some athletes on there as well. So we've got some stuff in the works. And Matt and Todd, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, for real. And Monday nights, we'll be glad to steer people, to come see you the night after we're on too, and we can get together. And I like doing this because the more people in the conversation, it makes me better because I strive in bigger conversation rooms. So if you need a guest to come on, you holler at me, and we'll drop by on a Monday night, or I can. Dean may be at football when season starts. I know, but let me know. And we'll come over. We'll shoot the gab about Bama and Auburn, or we'll talk about UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten. We'll break it down.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to have you on and just to sit down and chit chat for a little bit about anything that's going on in the sports world. I'm there. Anything if you're talking about sports, if you're talking about Jesus, whatever you want to talk about, man, I am game. So just whenever y'all want to, let me know, and I'll reach out to y'all as well. I will definitely mark y'all down for 1 week this year.
And I'll give you some advice. Don't worry too much. I'm just telling you from things I've messed up on or things I wished I would have known more. And I knew this because I studied YouTube a lot. Algorithms, how this works, how thumbnails work, how it's important to do every little detail. The first 30 seconds, the hooks, the way the storyline is, how the title reads. I've studied it all. Number one thing, don't get caught up in the cameras and the tricks and the glamour. It's took us years to get to where, just years, just to this little mess that we got going on now. Content. Know what you're talking about. I've seen guys do videos in their mama's basement and get 1,000 views. And I've seen guys that have beautiful lit up studios with the $500 Shure MM7B mics and get 100 views. So just know what you're talking about. Be confident in it. And don't just report it like news. Have some personality with it. Smile a little bit. Don't just, stack the papers and or live here, Channel 13. I see a lot of young guys out there doing that. And they're too tight. And they're just kind of reporting the news and they're just looking at the camera. Be loose, sit back, engage with your audience, go on the chat with them, and build a personality of who you are, and just let your personality come through that God gave you, and have fun, man. Smile and have a good time. But you're smart, so you got all that covered. Yeah. We know you know your content, so everything else, just kind of let it come and don't be too tight. Okay. I
appreciate that. I highly appreciate it. It means more than you know.
Hey, anything we can do for you, you give us a shout. Find us on Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're about everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
bro. Thank you for coming by. Stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Thank y'all. And I look forward to talking to y'all each week. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good one.
All right. See you, brother. Have a good day.
See you.
All right. It's Mr. Coker down around the Gadsden area.
Good kid.
He is. He's very intelligent.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, especially that baseball.
Yeah, he's got it down pat.
Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't with the football.
He knew it too.
He had the baseball down pat.
He just clicked it off quick.
Yeah.
Football stuff, we went through Auburn stuff, and he knows the teams, and he knows who's playing who. He knows the teams that are coming.
Right.
and he can just rattle and go right along. And that's the thing. Just be yourself. And if you're funny and weird and quirky like we are, don't change. Still say the stupid jokes like idle and by. Hey, they're tough. That's a tough game. I'm always going to do that. It's just fun.
We're not on AM radio. We're not on AM.
No, it's just fun.
Get on AM radio.
And if you change who you are, then you have to stay changed all the time. And I'm just not. And I think our audience likes that. And that's what makes us different. And that's why you listen to the best darn sports show you can listen to today. Show 194, Father's Day edition.
194.
We'll be back for 195 next week. And look for some stuff maybe through the week.
Hour and a half. That ain't bad.
If we got some news break through the week, I'll come on and do a locker room special. If we got anything breaking, it's a really slow time of year, and we'll be looking for another guest maybe to come on next week.
Let me check something.
And
you know what I'm checking?
We'll do 2 other teams from the SEC next week.
Yes, we're done 5, so I guess we got 9 left. So one week we can do 3, whatever. But
yep.
Let me see.
And our media day is still July 15th. Don't miss Cherokee County football media days.
I hit US Open. It pulls up Kentucky football. I was trying to before we left. Oh, Clark and McElroy with 7 holes left are 1 stroke apart. 1 stroke apart.
Jeff says Florida's 5, Oral Roberts is 1 top of the 4th. This Oral Roberts team, they may not make it through, but they got a good team.
Pretty big since Oral Roberts is not a major university. I mean, I know they're in that. They play in that league, but it's not like Ohio State or Alabama.
They're a Christian university.
Right. Obviously, we know who started Oral Roberts. Well, I'm not sure.
Was it John Smith?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I don't know who started.
Yeah.
But, no, they're not supposed to be.
Somehow or another, they did this a few years ago.
That's big.
They did this a few years ago. This ain't the first time that we've talked about Oral Roberts baseball. So, guys, thank y'all for coming by, and we sure do appreciate all the love and all the attention. And remember, hey, right there in the comment section, there's a little star where you comment at. There's a little star on the side, and by reaching the goals that we've reached and where we've established and moving along, you can hit that star, and it's $1. And we get a little bit of that. Facebook gets a little bit of it, but it just shows some support. It shows some support for us and the show and what we do, and we would just surely do. We would appreciate it.
Grateful. Yeah. I mean, we're not like guys begging on the street.
I mean, that's.
Come on, give us that tip.
But from where we come from, with the iPhone propped up on the table, like this, to it'd mean something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You just hit that star, and if your card, I have a card on file that I keep through Facebook, and I tried it to the day, and it's $1, it's 99 cents, and it'll give you some stars, and then you give them to the show, and that's about it. So, guys, thank y'all for coming by. Best Dang Sports Show going today. Yes, Jeff, I got his address finally, so I'm going to try to get him a shirt and some stuff. I'm going to send him out to him. Y'all have a great week. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God as always. Y'all come back next weekend and hang out.